Well, if I was going to pick one place, it was going to be Detroit and this neighborhood, the Cass Corridor, because it means so much to the Detroit music scene and Detroit music history. You know, we've tried to exemplify that as much as we can in the artwork and showing the different generations that have played in this neighborhood, MC5, the Gories, the garage rock revival, where the White Stripes, Dirt Bombs, et cetera, we're all playing. And it's a natural continuation of what we built with the storefront here and the live venue, that the dream was to be able to have a plant that people could see records being pressed and you could buy those records immediately that are on the machines you're looking at, which doesn't exist anywhere in the world. So trying to make things that have never existed before is sort of our goal at Third Man all the time.
You know, when you think vinyl, you think of true music lovers. You know, I mean, this is the way music was meant to be heard. You know, it's not like the crunch condensed music. To know that you're bringing a true art form in this area in an age where not everybody remembers that. Do you think that this is something that we can maybe bring a little bit of music back to people that have lost what it really is?
Yeah, I think over the last few years you've seen a lot of people come back to vinyl in a way that they want to participate in the music and have it be reverential. The same way people are going to see movies in a movie theater is reverential. Instead of at home with a remote control where you're the one in command. With vinyl, you take part, you're a participant, and you're reverential to the music. The revolving disc is a campfire. It's what you sort of pay respect to. You drop the needle and you have to pay attention and be involved with it. And I think that people in the age of invisible digital music, that this is the one way that real music lovers understand how to still stay involved and be a component and be involved in music in a beautiful way.
You're talking about a real experience. And not everybody understands that when it comes to music. For you, is there a difference between creating that experience and helping manufacture that experience, or is it all kind of coming together for you?
We just have a sort of a notion at Third Man to try to make everything possible for artists, whatever we can think of that we wanted to see when we were younger on tour in the van, places we wanted to visit, things we assumed existed in the world that didn't. You know, from an old recording booth from the 40s where you can make your own record, to be a small bedroom punk label and looking for a place to press your record here in Detroit, on and on. The ideas that we have here all stem from all the artists that work here. The people who write poetry at Third Man Books that publishes poetry. The live venue for live shows and bands playing in front of people inside of a record store. All those things are all intertwined. Anything we can do to find an environment that an artist can express themselves.
I noticed that you guys are pressing for a lot of Detroit people right off the bat. People, it's not just you. It seems like you're putting a spotlight on this city.
For sure, yeah. It was when we talked about what were going to be the first records on the presses. The dream first records we wanted were the Stooges and MC5's first albums. And luckily, we were lucky enough to get those, get approval from Iggy Pop and Elektra through Warner Brothers to be able to have the ability to do that. And then also the White Stripes albums that were recorded and made here in the city of Detroit. And then of course Derek May, the techno scene. We're just trying to bridge all the gaps and try to find all the different genres we could in this first run with these 8 presses and spread it across from gospel to techno, to garage rock, to Detroit historical rock and roll. So I think we got everything covered. So we're very proud of that.
One thing I thought was really interesting too, he was telling me you guys don't want this to be just your label. You want this label to stand alone and to also be one of those things where people can come in off the street and just press. Like you guys are really trying to reach all music artists. For the young up and comers who might walk in here and ask to have their album pressed, you guys had a start here. Is it interesting to think of yourself as maybe the beginning of somebody else's story now?
Well, we understand where they're coming from. If a punk band right now wants to press a 7-inch, we know exactly what that feels like. And we know what they want, what they're expecting, and we want to facilitate that for them. How good is it that now a place where actual musicians who went through that exact process when they were younger are the ones helping facilitate that for another generation? I mean, that's exactly who you want to help you, and not people who have no idea what it's like to be in the back of a van on tour and playing in grimy bars all over the place. You want to know that you're in good hands, and I think that anyone who comes in here realizes that the people who work at Third Man are all artists and misfits, and they're all people who understand what it's like to try to express yourself and bring that to more people.
I'm almost done. You know, your first show. You know, once upon a time, there's a lot of failed musicians out there. A lot of people
Including
take that
me.
swing and they miss.
Yeah.
For you, you know, going on the stage when you were younger for the first few times to sitting inside of a place that's going to open tomorrow and be pressing records and you know, changing careers. When the hell did you figure this was going to happen?
Never. I bought a building in Nashville just to store my tour gear, and that turned into a place where we had an office, and then we got our vinyl rights back, and baby step after baby step, it turned into a bigger and bigger thing. Ideas where we can help all kinds of artists, writers, painters, musicians, and even all the way to construction people and designing. A big part of this is my love of design and being able to finally have an outlet where I can design actual buildings and take each component and figure out the best way to do it. It's always been a love of mine to be able to find out what's the best way to have form follow function, and when you are presenting things to people, how to go about that scope. My design concept was the window. People are going to be able to see this, so all focus from this plant goes to this window, and everyone's work ethic is based on the fact that you're going to be in front of strangers, working in front of strangers. So the place is to be immaculately clean, and all the colors exemplify certain metaphors and ideas that are involved in the process. And I think the highlight of it all is Robert Sestock's Cast Corridor artist, who did some amazing work since the 70s, did that back wall for us, which is incredible that an artist from this neighborhood was able to, you know, is still alive and still working on art and made something this beautiful, just like he did in the 70s for the Duffy plant. That's my favorite part of this.
We'll definitely get that.
Yeah.
I don't want to. Are we missing anything?
No, it's good. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. I'll give you your mic back. I could use one of these, but I'll give it back.